success for most people is more about releasing the handbrake than it is about putting their foot on the accelerator. Here we go. Reasons why people fail. The first question is why. One of the reasons people fail is they don't have a purpose to succeed. They don't have a strong enough reason to overcome things like, hey, Cham, I'm really busy right now. I've got all these things. Well, why do you even want to build your business? Is it a strong enough reason to overcome, how can I make time in my day? Is it a strong enough reason to schedule in time? As Viktor Frankl said in his book, Man's Search for Meaning, those who have a why can bear almost any how. Those who have a why, a strong enough why, and in his example, if you know anything about the book, he was in a concentration camp. If you have a strong enough reason to live, you can bear almost any how. So if you're not finding time for your business, if you're not persisting enough, this Facebook pixel thing is too hard, why do you want to do this in the first place? If you're thinking sometimes about stopping, remember why you started in the first place. Sometimes we get caught up, it's like, hang on, yes, I'm working on my video script and I can't remember the bullet points and it's breaking my brain, but why are you doing this in the first place? Because I want to get a video out. Why do you want to get a video out? Because I want more clients. Why do you want more clients? Because I want to help people. Why do you want to help people? Because I want to do what I love. Why do you want to do what you love? Because I want to have a fantastic life. And this is, when you drill down, part of building that fantastic life is, yes, you need to remember the bullet points in this video script right now. Your computer doesn't work and it wants to update to Windows 11, but should you stay on Windows 10? Why do you want to fix your computer? Why do you need your computer for? If you do not figure out this small problem of whether or not to update your Windows computer, that affects your big why. That affects potentially the legacy you leave. Oh, Cham, but it's just a computer thing. Yeah, almost every human being on planet Earth that wants to do anything needs to figure out a bit of computer stuff every now and again. You know? Otherwise, just go back to pen and paper and let's see how far we get with that. Not very far. So the first big question is why? The next big thing about what trip people up, and I'm talking about everyone on this call because this 6-week program ends in that way. So left to your own devices, some of these things start coming up. You may not be taking action because you don't potentially have the external accountability of me. So why are you doing it? What do I need to do? So do I have a very clear, specific, realistic goal? Do I have a linear path? Like I understand on Monday morning at 9 a.m., I've got 2 hours to work on my business. What am I doing? Do I have that path? And am I clear and confident about that path? So if you don't have things laid out, when it comes time to work on your business, you don't know what you should be doing. I'll give you an example. If you're trying to get fitter, maybe you're trying to lose weight and tone up, as an example. When you've got time for exercise, do you know what it is you should be doing? Are you clear and confident that that will work? If you don't at least have some semblance of a plan, like I get it, what I need to do is on Tuesdays, I need to do 30 minutes of cardio and I need to get my heart rate up to at least 150 beats per minute. And then on Thursday, I need to do strength training. And when I do strength training, I've already written down, I've just got 3 key exercises I want to do. I want to squat, I want to do chin-ups, and I want to do something else. And I have to beat these 3. At least last time I did 5 kilos times 12 reps. And now I want to do 6 kilos at least in the 8 to 12 rep. If you don't have that, you're not even going to feel like starting. You're like, I really should exercise, but I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have a target to hit. Likewise with your business. If you I should work on my business at 9 a.m. on Monday, but it's not, you don't have specific goals. Just like the exercise example. I'm trying to go for this. Last week I did 5 kilos times 12 reps. Now I want to do 6 kilos times 8. You should have that for your business. Last week I did a 30-minute Zoom presentation, but I feel I wasn't connected to the camera. I'm going to do that 30-minute Zoom presentation again. Now my goal is to connect to the camera. That's what you should be. You shouldn't be just starting at 9 a.m. thinking, I wonder what I should do, I'm confused. That confusion will cause you not to even want to start in the first place. So you need to understand what to do. Clear set of steps, and a fair degree of confidence that what you're doing is the right path. Can I? By the way, if you've heard me talk about CANI, sometimes that stands for constant and never-ending improvement. This is not that. There's a space here. Can I? As in, can I do this? So the question people sometimes have is it's a self-doubt question. Can I really do this? Will people listen to me? Do I have what it takes to succeed? It's a mindset block. So one of the reasons why people fail is they have a reason, they know what they should be doing, but next we get to action. They haven't even got to the action step because before they put themselves out there and take action, they're asking themselves this question that blocks them, can I do this? What if I fail? What if it doesn't make money? What if, I get embarrassed or something like that? So this comes down to the self-coaching element of things. You need to coach yourself to success in that way and look within yourself and be honest with yourself about what is stopping you. So hence you need some type of a self-coaching skill or other people to coach you. That works as well, but obviously you're around yourself all the time. Next, when am I going to do this? I'm too busy. 99% of people are busy. Do you know what I mean? Like, who isn't busy? It just gets busier and busier these days. It's called life. And you're ambitious people if you're here. You've got all these ideas, and ideas, you can have them like that. 2 seconds, I've got an idea. I should create a video about XYZ, but then that takes 4 hours to do. I got an idea. I should write a book 12 months later. It takes a long time. You can have ideas like that. You just ask ChatGPT for ideas of how to improve your business. 3 seconds, you get 20 ideas. That could be a year's worth of stuff right there. So when are you going to do it? So for a lot of people, what stops them is the time, productivity, time management, avoiding bright, shiny objects, other distractions, making something a priority, decisions. I got all these things, but when am I going to do them? Just because you've written things on a task list, like we recently wrapped up Success Automation yesterday, and I spoke just asking for some Q&A. But a very common thing is people write down their tasks based on topics. Like, here are my marketing tasks. Here's my confidence on camera tasks. Here's my sales tasks. Here's my coaching tasks. That's all very well and good, but sooner or later, those tasks that are organized in topics, you have to ask yourself the question, when are you going to do them? I could have a to-do list for today that has 26 things, but hey, I got other stuff to do today. I don't have time to do 26 things. When am I going to do them? So organizing your tasks under topic is a great start, but more importantly, you got to organize them in terms of time. When are you going to do them? Which comes down to the calendar, because the calendar is the most important time management tool any human being has. If you look at how billionaires, millionaires, busy people, everyone has a different productivity system. But if I could hone it down to just one thing that everyone uses, they all use a calendar. That's the commonality. They all use a calendar. So if you have a look at your calendar, you've got your personal things in there. You've got Timmy's birthday on. You got to pick up the kids from school. You want to exercise. You want to have a date night. You've got other things. You've got clients in your business. So this marketing stuff, when you look at your calendar, where does it fit in? You need to schedule it in. When this occurs, sometimes you got to go back up to the top. Yeah. I'm not making enough time. I didn't follow through. Well, what was the reason? Maybe you didn't know what to do. Maybe you didn't remember your why. When things got busy and you got into the weeds of things, you forgot to look up to see what your goals are, to see what your vision board is, because life is definitely going to get in the way. Do I feel like it? I know when I should do something, but I don't want to do it. Raise your hands if you've had this before. I don't feel like it. Like, I know why I should exercise. I know what I should do. I know I can do it. I blocked out time, but I don't want to do it. Because you don't enjoy the process. In Confidence on Camera, I talked about this thing. The secret is if you take actions, you will get the results. Pretty much everyone knows that. If you keep running Zoom events, you'll get better at Zoom events. If you keep exercising, you'll look like a person who exercises, right? If you keep eating healthy, your body will look like that of a body of someone who eats healthy. So everyone knows kind of like, why don't you do those things? Imagine what your life would look like if you just did the things you knew you should do. It'd be amazing. Who thinks it'd be amazing if you could just do the things you knew you should do? But you don't do them, and the primary reason why most people don't do them is because they don't want to do them. Because it don't feel good. It's just broccoli doesn't taste as good as, chocolate or whatever it is. So the trick is you also need the skill of enjoying the process. You also need the skill to make things enjoyable. Things are enjoyable when they're, among other things, when they're broken into bite-sized pieces, so they're simple. When you've tracked it and you've made it that feeling of progress, it's more enjoyable if I write down that last week I did, whatever I mentioned, 5 kilos, 12 reps, because this week I can find I'm progressing, I'm beating myself. Same with confidence on camera. Even if people don't want to record videos, the camera allows yourself to watch it back, and then you can see, I see now. I looked at the video I did 2 weeks ago, and then a week ago, and today, and this one is more connected. I feel more connected, but now I'm enjoying it because I'm progressing. People enjoy themselves the most, not at the speed of which they are. It's not the level that they're at. I'm going at 40 kilometers an hour, 60 kilometers. I earn 40 grand a year, 100 grand a year, a million. It's not the speed or the level that dictates enjoyment. Is the acceleration. It's the acceleration. It's more enjoyable to go from 0 kilometers an hour to 50 kilometers an hour than it is to cruise at 100. There's a thrill in going from 0 to 50. And it's like that with everything. It's more enjoyable if last year you were earning $50,000 a year and now you're earning 75, and now you feel you're on track to earn 100,000 next year. That's more enjoyable than the last 3 years I've been exactly on the same salary, 120 grand a year. That progress isn't there. It's not like Jeff Bezos, who's worth $200 billion, wakes up every day and thinks, this is amazing, $200 billion, because he's got used to that. What do you think his goal is in terms of finances? Oh, that's plenty of money. It's probably $300 billion. It's probably to beat Elon Musk, who's at $500 billion. You just get used to things. We've just been wired as human beings to enjoy progress. So if you can measure that progress, it's more enjoyable. If you can link it to other things, it's also more enjoyable as well. So there are sectors of your life. There's health, there's relationships, there's family, there's personal development, there's finances. There's all these different things. So when you look at a task, if you can link it to other things, it will be more enjoyable. Instead of exercising, exercise with your kids. Who can see what that's done now? It's different. Now you've got more reasons to enjoy it and more reasons to do it. Instead of thinking, this is just marketing right now. All I'm doing is creating a video for marketing, and maybe I don't feel like doing it. I want to create a video for marketing. I don't feel like doing it, but hey, what about if this is also personal development? What if you're also creating a program that will help other people? What if you're setting a good role model for your children as well? These other things that you can link it to. So do I feel like it? This is a whole topic in and of itself. Next. Oh, I ran out of room here. Am I doing it right? It's this need for support or feedback. Where am I going wrong? I've been doing all this work now, but this strategy session, am I doing it right or not? You need some type of feedback, whether that's from yourself, from others, from the team here at Authentic Education, from peers that you've got with your accountability partner or something like that. So the 3 different levels is you should be able to get feedback from yourself. That's probably the most important one, to be honest, because you are always around yourself. You have the highest care factor of giving feedback to yourself. So watching back your own presentation and knowing what to look for is one of the most important things because of the quantity of it. And over time, you can get better at the quality of feedback. Whereas my feedback that I might give you or someone else, it might be good in quality, which is important, but over time, the quantity is so low, it's not nearly as good as you have to be able to see it for yourself. So as an example right now, if I'm doing this presentation right now, I'm speaking to a camera right now, because I can give feedback to myself and I'm used to watching myself back, I can give feedback to myself in real time. Who sees that? I can give feedback to myself in real time. But if you don't know what to look for and you're not used to giving feedback to yourself, you wouldn't do it. It kind of happened just then. Like, as I was ramping up the energy, in real time, I was giving feedback to myself and I thought, oh, hang on, Cham. That part of my brain says, your voice sounds too monotone for too long. I think we should switch things up. And I did, and I started doing it. And I'm doing it right now. Maybe not to Seinfeld level. I always enjoyed Seinfeld's tone of voice because I thought to myself, tone of voice is so important. Whenever Seinfeld makes a joke, he just raises his tone of voice. And the tone of voice is funny. Is this funny? It's just the power of the tone of voice. But if you take away that tone of voice, I just raised my tone of voice. Is this funny? It's no longer funny because the tone of voice isn't like really high. Anyways, tangent over. So you have to be able to give feedback to yourself if you're doing it right. Last but not least, I think a very important one for a lot of people. Or what? I was watching Homeland. Does anyone watch Homeland? Type the letter H in the chat box if you ever watched Homeland with Claire Danes. Amazing, amazing actor. She was in this scene where she was negotiating with the leader of a terrorist group. And she was saying, you need to move your troops out of Baghdad or whatever the city was by next week. And she was pleading with this guy to move the troops out. She had a long-standing relationship with them. And the leader of the terrorist organization looked to Claire Danes and said to her, or what? Like, if I don't do it, so what? She had no leverage. And then he said to her, you know, the old version of you would have come to me with a contingency plan. You would have had some, or what, some leverage on me. But you're coming to me now to ask me something just based on our past relationship, but you've got no leverage. You've got no consequence. So most human beings, they operate like this. We take the path of least resistance. That's what accountability is. That's part of what accountability is. You are going to feel like you're going to let someone down. You don't want to have to rock up to, you know, that coaching session or to this implementation. And when I ask you what your call to action account was, you're going to say 0. That's the consequence, the or what. But now we take that away, that or what away, and you have to have that for yourself. So maybe it's something like a commitment to yourself. And that is your or what. I promise myself that I'm going to do X, Y, Z by this day. And if I break that promise, I feel just bad about myself, that I've broken a promise with myself. And I don't want to do that. That's my or what. Now, I'm not trying to beat yourself up or anything like that, but if you don't, for some people, most people, if they don't have an or what, they won't do anything. I wrote on my goal, I want to get 5 clients by, you know, whenever. If you don't, so what? Does your life change? Is there any consequence or anything like that? There is none. I'm a big fan of a if-then statement. If-then statement. So it's like if I'm asking my children to do something, like, hey, we got to leave the house right now. Put on your clothes. But why? But then what? That's quite different to, we got to leave the house right now, otherwise we won't be able to watch the start of the movie. Oh, now I get it. There's a consequence. I got to go. And we do this naturally, you know? I need to get to the airport 2 hours early. So what? What if I don't? What do you mean, so what? We missed the plane and we don't go on holidays and you're probably up for $5,000 because, you know, what do you want? Do you want to pay $5,000 or you just want to hurry up a little bit and get there on time? There's a consequence. That's why everyone pretty much gets to the airport on time, sometimes way too early, 4 hours early or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Because of that consequence. There's consequences there. In the chat box, out of all of these, which is the biggest one do you feel that is holding you back? Please type it into the chat box. Maybe I'll number them, hey? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't even plan it like that. The magical number 7. Which is the biggest one holding you back out of all of these 7?